people of the internet, it is I, Knuckles Productions 360, and welcome back to the Sonic Forces Rewrite series. So today we're going to be starting off with Sonic Forces. This is part 1. Hope you guys enjoy. Just want to get this all out of the way so we can jump straight into it because there's a lot of cool stuff to talk about. Okay, so our story opens up like how it does in the games, with Eggman walking down the lab with Orbot and Cubot. Except it would be different as Infinite's not in the tube and he doesn't stop halfway through. He continues to walk down it with kind of almost Batniks being built while in the background. Orbot and Cubot are with him while he walks down, and Eggman talks and says his line where he says how he hates Sonic and all of this hatred has been put into this invincible instrument of destruction. As he says this, Eggman then walks into a giant room with a huge army of Badniks overlooking where a bunch of ships are shown. These ships are shown, which are the ones from Sonic Heroes, so I think that'll be a really cool idea. And Orbot and Cubot give him a mic and, I don't know, mess around or something. And Eggman begins to talk about his speech, and in the background you can see Shadow, Metal Sonic, Zavok and Chaos behind him. However, floating above is Infinite, looking menacing and evil. Eggman then talks about how this is the day he and his Badniks will conquer the world and turn it into a glorious Eggman empire, and at the heart of it will be Eggman Land 2.0. And then he also talks about how it will be the last day of free will. After he says this, all the Badniks are then ordered to go on board the respective ships, the egg drop ships, by some. And they begin to launch. Meanwhile, Orbot and Cubot pilot the Egg Dreadnought. Sonic Overdrive pun. With the 6 villains on board, this being Eggman, Infinite, Shadow, Metal Sonic, Chaos, and Zavok. And we see the Egg Fleet fly up into the sky and start bombing familiar places across the world, ultimately getting the attention of all the heroes, as Eggman's big kind of counter-strike on the world. Tails, who is in the Mystic Ruins in his workshop, sees the chaos and flies towards none other than Splagonia, since it's the nearest, to help out. We then cut to Green Hills. Yes, I know, Green Hill Zone. As we see Sonic laying down asleep until he's woken up by a giant explosion and see that Green Hills is in chaos with 3 giant Death Egg robots being fired out of a ship, as well as an army of Badniks. Tails calls Sonic and tells him that he needs to come over to Splagonia quickly, since Eggman is starting attacking. Sonic tells Tails that he will be in there in a flash, and Sonic wonders what's going on. Now, as for gameplay, it would pretty much be the same with just a few changes, except Sonic is not slippery as usual. There is not as much automation, the levels are a bit longer, and there are multiple pathways, and finally you can unlock some of Sonic's moves later on in the game, so that you can go back to those levels and find some hidden goodies. Also, I just want to make this very clear. In the background of the Green Hills levels, you can see Splagonia on fire. This gives the player a bit of a reason to get past the first level. And after the battle with a giant Death Egg robot or something, I don't know, we have Sonic's level, which is level 2, which will be Splagonia, and it'll be on fire and destroyed. It will basically be Sunset Heights level. After the level, it's shown the hero has fallen cutscene, which would pretty much stay the same with a few changes. First of all, when Sonic saves the group, Eggman says his line afterwards. Sonic tries to attack him, only for Shadow to kick Sonic, and here's where the change would cut in. Sonic is confused as to why Shadow just saved Eggman. Sonic tries to ask Shadow what's going on, and Shadow says he's sorry and that he's doing this for his own reasons. Just then Zavok lands down below and Sonic is surprised but asks Zavok where's his other crumbling criminals to which Zavok rolls his eyes and says, "Playtime is over, Hedgehog." Just then Metal Sonic appears and Sonic acts sarcastically, saying, "Really? Another Metal Sonic?" And finally, Chaos lands down and Sonic and Tails are shocked at this. And I also want to comment that yes, the prequel comics that they wrote are canon, so yeah. However, before they can say anything, Infinite flies down, and this part where Sonic tries to attack Infinite will remain the same, along with the line with Tails, except when Infinite hits Sonic against the wall, a small bit of rubble falls on Tails' tails, which means that he can't fight as he tries to get free. But Tails decides to do a bit of scanning to scan Infinite, as Sonic fights the villains. And Infinite would remain the same, except he would grab Sonic by the throat and throw him up in the final part. He would throw him up into space and teleport him up there, and he would basically kick Sonic down to Earth, ultimately hurting him badly. Sonic would then try to get up, only for him to fall, and Tails yelling out for Sonic and begins to cry. Eggman, seeing this, smiles wickedly. Shadow looks worried but continues on with the battle going forward, as we see this one part where Sonic tries to get up and fight the other villains, but they're overwhelming him, with Chaos punching Sonic in the legs, Zavok straight up scratching Sonic across the eye, Shadow roundhouse kicking him, and of course Metal Sonic hitting him in the back, and Infinite straight up punching him against a wall. After this, Sonic tries to get up, and then he falls, and Tails yells out his iconic "Sonic" line. Eggman then laughs and mentions on how Sonic is no longer a thorn in his side. He then turns to Zavok and tells the Zeti to pick up the Hedgehog. Zavok refuses and tells Eggman that he's not going to do it, to which Eggman ultimately says, "You defy me, do you?" And he snaps his fingers and Infinite turns towards Zavok, to which Zavok ultimately ends up agreeing to take, and Infinite summons a small black hole. And by the way, this is null space. I wanted to kind of hint to null space's existence very early on. Zavok ends up growling at the Doctor and picks up the unconscious Sonic. And Eggman would definitely say, "Ah, now that's some better manners." And Infinite would basically crush the black hole with his bare hands. Anyway, Zavok then throws Sonic over his shoulder, and the villains walk towards the ship they came in. Tails, who manages to get free, makes a sound as he tries to escape. Infinite notices this, because, well, I thought it would be a cool idea if Infinite's like this really powerful character with very good hearing, meaning it's very hard to sneak up on the dude. And ultimately, Infinite sees this, and is prepared to fire a phantom cube at him, but Eggman tells him no, to let him go, since he's nothing without Sonic. Infinite then replies, "No, he's worthless without him." As the two laugh and leave, Tails runs away, crying, without the survivors. Eggman then talks to Orbon Cubots and tells him to activate Eggplan Eclipse, to which Orbon Cubot nod and press a big red button. From there, it shows a bit of a montage, something similar to the Star Wars Revenge of the Sith Order 66 moment, where it would show some sad music playing as we see famous places of the Sonic the Hedgehog series just being destroyed and turned into an Eggman empire. We would see places like Green Hill get turned into a prison. We would see Seaside Hill be turned into a power core factory, and many towns getting demolished by Shadow, Metal Sonic, Zavok, Chaos and Infinite. Meanwhile, during this, Sonic's friends, which are fighting off the Badniks group and the now named Egg Squad, as like the Egg Generals, Amy, Knuckles, Silver, the Chaotix and Rouge continue to fight, but the group are overwhelmed with attacks, so they had to retreat, and a small group of fighters try to bomb an Eggman base, to which Eggman orders Orbon Cubot to blow up a small little police military base using the Egg Fleet from Sonic Heroes. After when that's out of the way, Eggman presses another button and launches the Death Egg into space. Multiple egg pawns and badniks are also seen around the world, building up bases, and of course, a few of them are seen holding, sort of guarding the Gaia temples, now that has the Chaos Emeralds, and they've locked them all up inside, with them very kind of like protected, let's just say. We also see many animals be captured and turned into robots. I'm sort of bringing back the whole roboticization idea, as I really kind of think that would be a cool way to reference that again. And we also see many more places get turned into all sorts of chaos and horror. We then finally see two giant cities be built. The first will be Capital City, and the other will be Metropolis. But bigger. But none of them covered the planet. But then, of course, there's the main part of the world, which would now be known as Eggman Land, the heart of the Eggman Empire, and it will be Eggman's main base of operation. And as he walks it, we then see Eggman walking into the base control room with Orbot and Cubot, who are on the controls, just kind of looking over the world. As well as and then Eggman sits down on a chair and he begins to look up where the Egg Squad are. Eggman then asks Orbot and Cubot where they are, to which Orbot replies, Zavok is on board the Death Egg, keeping an eye on the prisoners, Metal Sonic is on board the Egg Fleet, Chaos is guarding the Power Core Factory in Seaside Hill, and Shadow is at the newly made Imperial Tower that was made a few days ago. Eggman smiles wickedly as he sat down in his iron throne with a small hologram of the world, with red marks placed all over. Eggman then begins to laugh and says, "Who can stop me now?" And as he laughs, it zooms out from Eggman Land to show the world fully covered in red, with Eggman's silhouette laughing as the villains look over, and the screen fades to black. 6 months there, we then get that 6-card time month. As we cut to the cutscene with the Avatar character, this is where you get to customize him, and we see the first level with the Avatar, where they have to escape a demolished city from badniks and so on, and they hear a radio about the Chaotix needing backup. The level would be called Wreckage Alley, and after the level we would get a cutscene of Team Chaotix fighting the badniks. Then the Avatar jumps in to help out and would pretty much just do all that cool stuff, and then they end up deciding to take, well, the rookie back to Resistance HQ to see what the commander thinks. And here we would get the cutscene, except Knuckles would, the same cutscene as before, but Knuckles would enter the room and Silver would ask him what's the situation, which Knuckles explains that their attack on the Power Core Factory, they were overthrown and it was a failure, and the Jackal that took down Sonic was there. Amy then says she still believes that Sonic is still out there and that he might survive, although Silver says that Sonic is gone and that Tails has been missing for a week. He's been missing for quite some time. Silver also comments on stating that it's a good thing that they managed to capture the Green Hill Zone prison, and using it as for a base is okay since they removed it off the Eggnet, so that Eggman doesn't know about it. And this is where, obviously, your main character the custom character comes in with the Chaotix, and they basically talks about what's going on, and basically Knuckles tells the rookie that he'll give him a tour, and then they'll go out there and hopefully try to save the world.